Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Phil Marry, and this is, I'm going to get it right. Hang on. Oh, God.
Go on, get it right. Go on.
Sean Vickers from Unflopped. There he is. Wow, fanfare.
Back.
For another film review from the BFI London Film Festival 2020. It has been incredible, the festival this year, and it's all been online, well, predominantly online. Did you actually see any screenings at the BFI itself or the other cinemas?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Not one.
And I really miss that. I mean, we shouldn't really kind of dismiss the importance of going to the cinema because it is important, but obviously they've had to do it differently this year.
Yeah, of course.
I love how successful it's been because people have been tweeting, they've been doing reviews online, video reviews. It's been great.
It's been the online community across the socials, I think it's been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, certainly when I've been chatting primarily via Twitter, I think it's been a really good energy about what people are watching, whether across the BFI player or it's like, you know, really, really good energy. So I think that hybrid of digital and physical has worked really well.
I think because it's been instant too, because people have like given instant reactions. Obviously, some films have been embargoed for the premieres, but I think most of them, you know, have been kind of people have been giving reactions straight away, and I think that's the beauty of the internet as well, isn't it? That we're able to do that. It's been great, and obviously because of lockdown, thank God for the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean, quite brilliant, really. Thank God for broadband.
Yes. Although saying that, I did a review with Dina last night and her broadband was not playing ball. So her face was just a massive kind of pixelated squares. I couldn't really see her or hear her. She sounded quite robotic.
It was literally with Siri.
At least I think that was the broadband. Dina, I love you. You know I love you. But anyway, today is a film called The Painter and the Thief. I've not seen this film, but you have. I
have seen this film. So another one that really stayed with me. It's a documentary, and it follows the story of Barbara, who is a Czech painter, and Karl, who is a Norwegian individual. And their lives come together because Karl, under the influence of a lot of drugs, goes to the gallery where Barbara's work is and steals two huge pieces of work. He is the thief. She's the painter. And these two huge pieces, they're like 6 foot by 4 foot, beautiful photorealistic work that Barbara does, get stolen. They track down Karl and his accomplice, but the work is missing. And what's very interesting is the story follows the life of Karl and Barbara and how it becomes intertwined. And there's the point where they connect is actually in the courtroom. And Barbara, as an artist, says to Karl, I'd love to sit with you and understand why. I'd love to sit with you and understand where the work is. And he's a bit like, okay. But of course he goes to prison. He's guilty of a crime. But what follows really is their relationship, how it builds. And in a way, Karl has a lot of physical issues and around his drug taking, you know, he's very unstable. And at that time, Barbara formed a really an alliance with him, a friendship that you wouldn't expect. And it follows over many years, you know, and how Karl kind of gets his act in order. And in some ways, Barbara doesn't. And you find a change in the role as time goes on. And then you realize that actually Barbara is not without her own problems. And actually her work, her painting is actually like a crutch or a device for escapism, which is why she's so passionate about finding her old pictures, because she has such a connection with them. So I found it a fascinating documentary. Fascinating.
So she's
over a period of time.
So she's learning from him, but he's not really learning from her, or the other way around. He's learning from her. He
learns from her in a way that she provides him with support and friendship and allyship that he's never had.
But she's got other problems that she's kind of concentrating.
She has her own problems, but it's always that thing where she's helping him. She's saying, let me help you. You know, why did this happen? And she's always kind of looking for her work. And then as he kind of reforms and gets a job and finds a girlfriend, and suddenly, you know, you see him kind of like getting his life in order, you realize actually he starts to go back to her and say, what's going on with you? You know, and that's what I find super interesting about the whole thing, really, because it's about friendship in a way, and it's about vulnerabilities, and it's about, you know, she's perceived to be quite solid and got her head screwed on, you know, but actually she's got her own problems. But because his are so visible, his issues are so visible, it's just very interesting about mental health and how things are perceived and what's real and what's not real. And I found it as a documentary really quite brilliant. Again, another one of my favourites from the festival. And just, I think it's beautifully shot and very, very honest.
And I guess it's about how complex the human body is as well. Not just the body, but the mind, obviously, as well. But how we can change as people, how we adapt.
Of course. It's a really interesting point that at one point Karl has a car accident and has to be rehabilitated. And in some ways that is part of his wider rehabilitation, because he has to basically make his body work again. He has to learn to walk again. And Barbara's there throughout that whole process, helping him through that. But I think as he overcomes the physical, he realizes that his mental health, his mental strength is where it needs to be to fight some of his internal demons. But I found it brilliant and very candid. And it's just this kind of slow movement about friendship and characters that I absolutely adored. So it's a lot about vulnerability and empathy in this film, and in a way that Barbara provides a crutch to somebody that she shouldn't need to, He's probably would be perceived as kind of someone who doesn't fit in society. And she kind of hands an olive branch to him, even as someone who's stolen her work. She hands an olive branch to him in a friendship, and in some ways it's repaid later on. And I think that's absolutely lovely. So, it's quite heartwarming in a way about friendship and about, I guess, kindred spirits in a way.
Is it a long documentary? Is it the usual hour and a half? Or
it's about an hour and a half. Yeah.
But you never felt like it was dragging.
No,
compelled.
Because there's lots of kind of twists and turns. She's so attached to her work, and I say it absorbs her. And so if she's having a bad day, she'll paint. If she's having a good day, she'll paint. If she's got money worries, she'll paint. The work is something where she gets distraction. And so when obviously her work gets stolen, it's like a part of her has been stolen. It's like a part of her children has gone. And she's constantly trying to find these works because she has such attachment to them.
So it's called The Painter and the Thief.
Documentary. Get into it. Absolutely loved it.
Amazing. I don't know about you, Sean, but I'm pleasantly surprised by how the ratio is with the festival this year with the programme, that the selection of films, I think, have been more good than bad. And I think this is another case of that.
Mix. Yeah, I think because everyone follows their own journey, right? You pick the films that turn you on.
Yeah.
Like if you're into like horror, or if you're into like documentary, you'll pick a journey within the festival that is for you. And I think there are many journeys in the festival this year with a really fantastic caliber of production and film. So I think it's been absolutely fab.
I completely agree. It's been a really good festival this year, a really strong festival, considering obviously the problems that people are facing with lockdown and the pandemic. I think,
of course.
Yeah, hats off to the BFI.
This is another 8 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry, I should have told you the rating, but it's another 8.
Ooh.
I've been with quite a few 8s that recently, but I think I've just been very lucky in my selection of films that I wanted to watch. But yes, brilliant documentary.
You have picked well.
I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe she's born with it. I don't know. Really great. It's a really good documentary. Really would invest the time in this one.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sean. Good to see you again. We will continue this review coverage. We've got plenty more other films, not just for the BFI London Film Festival, but others as well coming up in the next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.
Subscribe.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.